There are three areas of contrast between much current practice and the approaches to teaching and learning articulated in the framework and NGSS. These concern the kinds of ideas we target for K through 12 education, explanatory core ideas, how they are built, practices, and how they need to fit together, coherence. Each of these has implications for important shifts in teacher knowledge and practices. Teaching shift. The goal of instruction needs to shift from facts to explaining phenomena. This refocusing of goals for learning has real implications for what teachers need to do in helping students develop ideas. For example, consider a topic present in all middle school and high school science textbooks, cells. In middle school, students typically learn that all living things are composed of cells, and often learn the parts of the cell and the functions that each accomplishes. Yet these ideas, while important science in the right context, if learned as facts and definitions, are not linked to the important disciplinary ideas that help students explain the world. Knowing the names of the parts of cells and being told the function of each part does not help students build a coherent model that explains how cells get the materials they need to live. It does not explain the role that cells play in multicellular organisms, or why indeed animals and plants need their cells to accomplish what the organism as a whole needs to survive. While there is no disagreement between prior standards and NGSS that cells are a key part of learning biology, there is a real difference in how cells, like other ideas, are treated. The discipline of life sciences has identified cell structure and function as an important idea, so this is part of traditional curricula and the 1990s standards. Yet too often, students don't know why they are learning about cells, other than that, quote, it's part of learning science, unquote. Students are not using the ideas to explain to make sense of phenomena. Instead, students are provided the idea of cells, are given the parts, are told their functions, and need to learn these ideas. Contrast this with the approach outlined in the framework and implemented in NGSS. The goal is to figure out how the structures of living things enable them to accomplish what they need to live. As part of this investigation, students could learn about the parts living things are made of, and ask how these cells contribute to what living things need to survive. In NGSS, students are expected to be able to provide evidence to support the claim that living things are made of cells, and argue from evidence how cells work within a system to enable the living organism to achieve its needs, e.g., develop an evidence-based argument for why animals need cells. This requires teachers and textbooks not to simply present facts and definitions as ends in themselves, but rather to help students continually work towards explanatory models. Developing these ideas from evidence. This requires a shift from learning about scientific ideas, such as cells, to figuring out scientific ideas that explain how and why phenomena occurs, e.g., how cells help organisms survive.